Greetings and welcome to the channel. This is Mikhailov from Team Retro, where we like retro games and the devices that bring them to us. So we love the TrimUI Brick. The TrimUI Brick is a very solid handheld for the price. But what's better than a TrimUI Brick? A custom TrimUI Brick. That's right, you can actually get custom buttons and you can get a custom backplate for your TrimUI Brick and end up with a very solid handheld that has a personal touch to it that actually can make it your own personalized handheld. So in this video, we're going to talk about how you can go about doing this, and we're going to tell you how many of your hard-earned dollar bucks something like this will cost. Spoiler alert, it's not that much. So let's dive in and get to work. At time of recording, you can purchase TrimUI Brick buttons for about $30 from MechDIY's website, and there are also bundles that include consoles and SD cards. You could purchase customized backplates on the same website for $30. Thank you goes out to MechDIY for sending me a red TrimUI Brick, as well as a custom backplate and button set. As is always required, all opinions are my own, I'm not being paid, and they are not seeing this video before it is published. MechDIY also sent the necessary screwdrivers and pry tools to complete this modification, so you shouldn't need to buy anything extra if you are interested in modifying this console. Now unfortunately, my first recording of this install didn't encode properly, and ended up being a bit of a slideshow. So I opened up the unit a second time so that I could properly demonstrate how to do the modification. I've never had footage improperly record before, but it's okay. I wasn't 100% happy with the rainbow colored buttons I was sent, so I did go back to the stock red buttons in this footage. Opening up the unit is fairly easy. There are 6 hex screws holding the backplate in place, and once those are taken out, the unit opens up very easily. Just be careful because the back of the unit houses the battery and you will need to disconnect it to separate the backplate from the motherboard. Let's put the rest of the unit aside here and focus on installing the custom backplate. It is simply held on by 2 Phillips screws, so we just need to take those out and carefully remove the backplate. From there, the shoulder buttons slide out, and you can replace them with one of the other options that are included in the packaging. I opted to go with these angled ones because they allow a bit more personal comfort for me. It's very easy to simply swap these shoulder buttons at will when the device is assembled, so you won't have to feel obligated to commit to a specific set of shoulder buttons. In order to install the new aluminum backplate, simply slide the shoulder buttons into the new backplate and then screw the new plate onto the back shell that houses the battery. Now let's focus on removing the motherboard so we can access the buttons. The motherboard is held in place by 5 screws and a piece of plastic for the LED lighting, so we just need to use a Phillips screwdriver and take those screws out. Disconnect the Wi-Fi antenna, then carefully remove the ribbon cable. With the TrimUI Brick, there's plenty of wiggle room with the ribbon cable that connects to the screen, so it's very hard to actually break it. Just be careful nonetheless. At that point, the motherboard will come right out, but one of the speakers will still be in the front panel. You could disconnect the speaker and fully remove the motherboard, but there's enough cable for you to just set it aside while leaving it connected. Now let's take a look at the buttons. I'm going to start with the buttons I left in this device. The replacement reset button that was provided was too big to go into the unit, so I kept the original reset button in place. I did the same with the 2 hotkey buttons in the middle because the provided ones snapped apart very easily. Now let's check out the face buttons. These are very easy to replace, as all you have to do is remove the rubber membrane and take the buttons off. All of the buttons have the same cutouts, so if you wanted to swap the button placement, put the A button on the bottom and the B button on the right, for example, you can absolutely do that. This footage has the rainbow buttons that MechDIY sent me, but like I said before, I don't really care for them on the red model, so I put the original red buttons back in for now. I'm most likely going to order the black buttons from their website so I can have black face buttons to match the D-pad and the other buttons with this kit. To me, the black buttons contrast really well with this red unit, so I think I'd personally enjoy having black face buttons to complement the D-pad and the Start Select buttons that MechDIY sent me. The D-pad goes in place just like the face buttons, but make sure that the TrimUI logo is facing the correct way when placing the D-pad. So let's take a look at the volume and power buttons. The stock buttons are attached to specific connections that make them able to fit on this device, but the replacements have no such attachments, they're just separate buttons. This will make things slightly harder when it comes to replacing the motherboard, but not by much. If you have a set of tweezers, you can use them to keep the buttons in place while replacing the motherboard. Once they're in, they'll sit in place just fine, and as long as they're resting on the motherboard, they will actuate when pressed. The hardest part of this whole mod is putting the motherboard back in place. You need to go slow and start from the bottom, so the headphone jack and USB-C port will slot into place. Then, you'll need your tweezers to keep the power button in place to lower the left side down. The same goes for the volume buttons on the right. Finally, make sure you feed the screen cable through the slot in the middle. There's plenty of room, so just be gentle and you won't damage anything. Once you have the motherboard back in place, go ahead and replace the 3 motherboard screws and the white plastic piece on top. Before going any further, test the buttons to make sure they all depress and work properly. We're all good to go here, so let's connect the ribbon cable and the Wi-Fi antenna. Finally, we can connect the battery and reattach the backplate. At that point, you'll want to turn the unit on just to make sure everything works, and since I'm seeing a TrimUI screen, I could assume the battery and the screen work just fine. So let's grab our hex screwdriver and finally button up this unit. And here's the final result, starting with the front of the device, the sides, and the back. I really like the custom logo that MechDIY picked out for me. It's basically my channel logo and it looks really good. Now as far as custom firmware goes, I'm using PakUI, which is a new fork of MIUI that adds a ton of new features. This is a build of MIUI that actually allows you to connect to Wi-Fi, which allows us to scrape box art. There are also a ton of quality of life improvements like a game switcher, and a YouTube app that allows you to download videos from your favorite YouTuber to watch on the device. There's a way to customize your boot splash image, and it's all within the simplified UI that we know and love. Overall, I really enjoyed not just switching out the hardware in this handheld, but also customizing the software to create a retro handheld that is legitimately designed for my specific needs. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And please feel free to continue the conversation on the Retro Handhelds Discord, where you can find me hanging out in between videos. And if you want to support the channel like these wonderful people on the screen, you can do so by going to my Patreon page. Links for all these places are in the description. But that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and please be sure to like and subscribe if this video was helpful to you in any way. Every smash of that button helps the channel grow and allows me to get more content out to you. But until next time, bye for now, and don't stop believing.